twice. I'm playing this on Xbox Series X. This is the version 1.06. So as you can see, I've completed the game. Okay, you cannot tell it from here, but I've completed the entire story. I've played a total of 107 hours of this game, so I think I have a pretty good idea of what I'm speaking here. Okay, so let's get started. So a little bit of a backstory. Sekiro was my first From Software game I ever played. This was my first From Software game I ever played. And I must say, it's awesome. It is pretty awesome. And the reason I say that is because Souls game for me were a bit of a daunting thing. I would see people dying, screaming, and throwing away the controllers. And I thought, okay, that as cool as the gothic architecture looks, that game wasn't. I felt that those type of games wasn't for me. But I think when Sekiro Shadows Die Twice was announced, I was somehow interested because you play as a ninja. There's no classes like in other Souls game. You don't create your own character. There's no classes to choose from. There's no different varied play styles you can play as, and you don't need to upgrade your base weapon. You just get one weapon. You can just use it till the end of the game. And also, you don't actually. This is one game. I think skill plays a lot more emphasis. Uh, there's a lot more emphasis on skills, on like your skilled gameplay. Like you can beat this game at level 1. Now, I'm not saying you cannot do the same for Elden Ring. I'm saying in this game it is far easier to do so. And the reason for that is, unlike other Souls game, you do not have a stamina bar. And the block which you can do here, which the thing which I'm showing right now, can defend against anything. Like absolutely anything. Unless it's not a red symbol attack. Most attacks, if you want to learn how the attacks of an enemy works, just press block. There is a block meter, but all you have to do is you have to continue. You can regenerate your block meter pretty quickly, or you can just go back. And since there's no stamina meter, there's nothing stopping you from doing your running away actions or this attacks. Albeit the attacks are not that fast, and you can't go crazy with the attack speed unless you choose some other tools. But this game places so much emphasis on your skill. I'll show you the gameplay. I'll show you one of my combat things later. But the presentation of the game, I think was by far their cleanest game to date until 2019. Yes, Dark Souls 3 did come out, but it was mostly for 1080p. It was mostly running at 1080p. You could still see some jagged edges. The presentation was not as clean as it could have been. But this was the first game, I believe, by the From Software team that was actually enhanced for the mid-generation console refresh, like the Xbox One X and the PlayStation 4 Pro. Now, I primarily bought it on Xbox One X, and and the reason I bought it for Xbox One X because just like every other Souls game, it doesn't run it doesn't run at a steady frame rate, which is kind of which you would think is but should have been the main focus of the entire game, where timing is everything, but it wasn't. But Xbox back then had 120 hertz mode, which made the game look a lot smoother. Now, coming to the presentation of the game, as I was saying before, this game has so much varied locations. It's a breath of fresh air. Like most of the games before that by From Software were drab, brown, and darkish gothic tones with a lot of rain or basically a lot of cloudy weather. But this game, okay, now I've completed the game, hence you can't see it properly. So let me just go to another location and show it to you how colorful the game can get. There are underground caves, there's snowy mountains, there are another weird caves. Okay, look at this. But if you're trying to purchase on PlayStation 5, also this it runs flawlessly on PS5, but it doesn't run flawlessly on Xbox Series X. There's still a bit of a 2-3 FPS frame drops every now and then, but Xbox frame freezing implementation is vastly better than Elden Rings. Sorry, PlayStation, so it doesn't matter. Look at this. L- Look at the color of this game. Now I'm not sure how well you can actually see it, but it's good. It's polished. The image is stable. The colors look good, and everything looks. The art design of From Software games have always been good, but I think this is where they're like, okay, you know what? We need to shift focus and create something even more amazing. So that's what we got here. There are most of this decor places you visit are Japanese inspired. Some are pretty similar, like caves and everything. So the basic gameplay is just block, attack, and there's a Mikiri counter. There's jump. So basically, if the entire game can be boiled down to few actions. One is block, second is attack, perfect block or deflect. And for the red kanji symbols, if it is a thrust attack, you can press your dodge button and it counters them. And if it is a sweeping attack, you can just jump. That's it. That's all it is. That's all you have. And you can also just run away if you want, but this is the main focus of the game. You can beat the entire game like this. Yes, you have all of your tools and everything, but you don't actually need to use them if you don't want to. Your sword never gets broken. You can actually increase its attack power. Your tools are just that, tools. They're not your OP weapons, unlike in other games. They're not gonna give you this OP feeling. They're just tools. They're just here to extend your combos or help you maneuver some attacks. That's it. It just adds a variety to your combo. It's not an OP weapons by any means. Now I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people who have made them OP, but for a general casual player, it's not. They're not gonna make you OP. Now, all of the I think there is a map in this game. I forgot how to access the map, but just like others from software games have a unique map design where there's no level structure. It's not like you complete a level, there's a loading screen, and there's a cutscene, and then you go forward. You can go from one end of the mission, from the first mission to the last mission, in one seamless go. And it's not open world. It might look like it's open world, but it's linear. They made it in such from software's game level design is has to be one of the most immersive level design ever for me. Like in other games, you can tell, okay, there's this mission takes place in this area, and then I go to the next. But this manages to connect every single area. Albeit there few things where there is a loading screen and you're teleported to another place, but it doesn't bother me that much. Now, coming to the tools, coming to the skills, I haven't unlocked all the skills yet. I haven't unlocked it yet because it takes a hell lot of skill points to unlock it, and I haven't reached that level. So let me show you what I have actually unlocked. One is the whirlwind slash. I think I'll just show it to you one by one. So the way this is kind of your special attack or signature move, or your what do you call it, weapon arts in the game, but instead of each being tied to a different weapon, uh, you can do all of them in just one weapon actually. So look at this. First the spinning slash, the way you do it is you press your block and then press your attack button. You press block and then press your attack button. You can't press them both at the same time. You have to press your block first and then attack button. And some attacks like this do not use your... Like in this game you have spirit papers or something, which is basically like FP flasks. And the only way you can get it is there are two ways you can get it. One is by defeating enemies and second by purchasing them. So this is a pretty useful attack. I'm not gonna lie, I've used it for almost like half of the game and it is still one of my top favorite. So the second is Nightjar Slash. This is more of a defensive offensive move. So you jump forward and then do this. So in case if the best way to use it is just go back and then jump, run away, jump, then do this. That's one way of doing it. And this is reversal. So what it basically does is you can actually use this in front and reverse. It's pretty fast. Now Ichimonji. Now as this game mainly focuses on like in other games, unlike in other games, you don't have to completely destroy an enemy's health bar to kill it. There are actually two bars which you can focus on. One is the health bar and the second is his posture bar, or basically his defensive skill. There's a defense meter on it. If you the amount of defense, it's basically like a block meter. If their block meter breaks, you can land a finishing blow, and that's regardless of how much health they have. So Ichimonji is one skill where it does a lot of posture damage. Now I wish there was a slash going forward like Getsuga Tensho, but you can see the force. You can see the dust and wind going away. And there's another cool thing. Now look at this. If I do it Ichimonji here, it's more of a grayish dust. Or maybe it's just my mind playing tricks. But if I do it here, I think it's still the same. I don't know, the color seems a bit different. So coming to the next skill. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't used much of them. Oh, there's another thing which I really like is Shadow Rush. I have used Shadow Rush to defeat Genichiro because it's like a stinger attack from Devil May Cry. Dragon Flash. Now it's not the strongest attack, but it looks so cool that I just like using it sometimes. It's a bit hard to pull off, but it is cool. Let me show you. And let me show you from the side. And obviously it goes far, but since I'm not in an even terrain, let me try this again. Let me try it in the even terrain. See? It's like one of Virgil's cut, I guess. Oh, floating passage. This game is much more fast paced than the other games. So this is not a powerful move, but it will help you fill up the posture meter of your enemies much faster, and it's pretty spammable if you know what you're doing. It doesn't cost anything, and you can just keep on doing it. Albeit the enemies will learn and defend against it, but oh, this Mortal Blade. So you see, as you can see, he has two swords. One which is carrying in his right hand, and the second one which is on his back. It's not just for decoration too. You can actually use it. And the way you use it is, it's just select Mortal Blade as your weapon art or something, and then block and attack again. So block and attack. It takes a lot of spirit emblems, but it is really powerful. It really is. Okay, I really thought I have unlocked Mortal Blade Charge, but okay, I think I did use a charge attack. Maybe my memory is not as good as. Now, obviously, you can use it without spirit emblems. It's not gonna be that, but it's not gonna be that powerful. So if you want something to spice up things, for me, this seems like an opener. When enemies approach you, you can just begin by doing this, and it does a lot of damage, and then you can continue to do these other things. Now, unfortunately, like just like other games, you cannot change your weapon arts on the fly. You have to pause your game and then do it. Now, other than that, you have ninjutsu skills. One is Papriya ninjutsu. This gives you various benefits if you know what you're doing. And stealth is you can stealth mostly all basic enemies if you can find the way to go to them without de-aggroing them, and you can actually stealth kill many mini bosses as well. Now, another thing this game doesn't have, and this is the reason I say this game has this game has actually changed the way I play from software games, is because there's no help in this game. Like, what I mean is there's no way another player can come in and help you out. So well, so you can't depend on anyone. Just like in this, the shinobi is a lone wolf, and you literally are a lone wolf as well. You have to win by your own means, and you get defeated by your own. That's it. You cannot call anyone for help. So and it is kind of a good and bad thing as well, because it is good to have help. When a game is difficult, it is good that you can play with your friends. And at first I didn't understand it, because like I've played Elden Ring after this. This was my first, as I said before, this was my first Souls game. And I was mostly a solo player. I didn't like playing online. I still don't play online much. I just like to go at my own pace. I'm just that kind of a gamer. And this game gave me the freedom. And yes, just like other games, you can use a little bit of cheese in most of the boss fights. And I'm sorry, I did. But you don't have to. Like, everything you need is just in two buttons. It's just in two buttons. Block, attack. Block, attack. Block, attack. Block, attack. That's it. That's the entire game. Oh, and coming to the tools, ninjutsu tools, you have a shuriken, a powerful version of shuriken, another powerful version of shuriken, phantom kunai, zenthro, which is really powerful, but it costs spirit emblem and your money. The another powerful version of shuriken, loaded axe. Now, loaded axe. Okay. Okay. Okay, you need spirit emblems to use those also. Now this is a spear. So, some attacks are useful for some bosses. These tools give you an edge in some boss. Like for example, if you're playing against the Guardian Ape, the spear attack will do a lot of posture damage. Spear attack is generally uses posture damage, and it's faster as well. And this, you have a lot of healing items. Is this you have your, and there are a lot of buffs you can use this game. You can actually use this to cut your health off by half or something, which gives you a buff. Confetti, which kind of makes you look like you're having sunburned Sakura in your blade. Let me show you. This is really cool. I don't use this much because they're limited items, but okay. Okay, look at this. This is my normal blade. This is, I think, it might be a Bleach reference, or it might not be, but I maybe I'm just looking at the wrong way. But this makes you look like you're using Senbon Sakura. Now look at this. It's not just for show as well. You can actually increase your power. This actually increases your. Basically, it increases damage. It adds more damage to your attacks. Doesn't last long. It's like 20-30 seconds. But it's pretty cool though. Now, if you combine it with floating passage, you can do a lot of damage. It looks a lot cool when you use it. Like any weapon buff skill, you use it. You use with floating passage. It looks cool. So I think this is lasting a lot longer. Maybe they released an update or something, but I don't remember this lasting this long. There's yeah. Now I completely forgot the layout of this game. Oh, look at this. Look how beautiful the game looks. Uh, I've said this before, and when people say that, games don't look as good as they used to, I think what they're talking about is the art design. Now, you can have all the high resolution textures you want, you can have all of the lighting effects, but if there's no proper vision of how of how you want your games to look, it's not gonna look good. It's just like it'll just look generic. Now, this basically has all of the textures like any other game. Rock, uh, plants, trees, bushes, fr- small flowers, shrubs, but the way they implement is what makes games look better. So I hope going forward. Oh, and this is the grappling hook you can use. This game has a lot of, what do you call, platforming sections as well, so you have to be a little bit careful. I actually forgot how do I go from here. I think I don't think I can go from here, but let me see. It's not allowing, it's too high for me, but let me see. Oh no, it's not too high for me. See, it doesn't have fancy lighting effects or ray tracing effects. But I don't know. It's just the presentation of the game looks awesome. It's not an open world game, but it does make you feel like it's an endless world for you to explore. Now, there's another thing which I do like, and that is, let me show you. So you can actually go back to your previous place of visit, and you can actually use this boss fight to sometimes trick the game. It doesn't always work, but sometimes it does. Now, there's another reason I like this game. Yes, the combat is good. I'm sure it is challenging, but the another thing which I think every game should have this is that if it's a linear open world game, normally what happens is at least in From Software games, you cannot replay the bosses. The bosses don't respawn again. Once you defeat a boss, that's it. It's gone forever unless you start a new playthrough. And that was the case here. But what they have done is, let me share. Yeah, they have given you a boss mode where you can fight any of the bosses which you've previously fought. Now, why is this useful for? Now, you might be wondering, why is this useful? One is you can just replay your boss fights again instead of going through the starting a new game where the enemies are much more tougher. And the other thing is, no matter how many items or skills you use in this game, it doesn't get deducted from your original game. Like for example, there are some limited items in the game. If you use it here, they're not going to depreciate, and it just gives you a way to practice the game. It basically like playing a fighting game. It's not a boss rush. You can just play one boss at a time if you want, or you can. There's a boss rush mode where you can continuously play through all most of the bosses. Now, let me. Yep, spear. This is the first boss in the game. I must say I've died like 100 times for this guy. So so uh, you can see the meter going up on his head. That is where the posture meter I was talking about. That is completely separate to his head. You have to time your attacks properly to defend them, or it'll just be a block instead of it'll just be a block instead of a deflect. So you have to time it properly. And as soon as you do this, now you can see his health is only half full, but his posture bar is almost filled. And I got a death blow. Camera might cause a bit of problem. It's basically a rhythm game. Oh, you cannot get greedy in this game as well. It's better not to get greedy. Oh no. Yeah, see? It's better not to get greedy. Oh, the best part is you can actually... Oh no, I pressed the wrong attack, wrong button again. Oh, okay. See, even if you're winning in this game, it's pretty easy to lose. So I hope you understand like how this game plays, right? I've been out of practice, so obviously I'll lose. But I think I've gotten through the first phase pretty easily. It's just that I got confused with the buttons. Oh, excuses are excuses. I've lost. That's the end of the story. But it has a boss rush mode, and it gives you cool costumes if you unlock if you beat all of them. So that's nice. Unfortunately, there's no DLC. It's a self-contained story. There's no DLC for it, unfortunately. But there are a lot of areas for you to explore, and I think that if you finish the game, you can still continue to get a lot more powerful if you just grind for it. But I think this game is such a gateway into Souls game. Like people say Elden Ring is, and by the popularity of it, I certainly agree. You can become way OP in that game. But for someone who just wants a simple action adventure game and but still want to face the challenges of a Souls game, this I think is pretty amazing. Now people have forgotten it in the likes due to the likes of amazing games like Elden Ring, but this still has a lot of potential. Like one of the things people like at least some people or mostly me. Okay, when I say some people, me, I had a problem when I was first playing Souls game is that I had to manage my stamina. Everything was has to be calculated, and I understood the challenge later on, but but that was the only thing preventing me from doing so. Now, disclaimer: I have completed Elden Ring. I probably played it wrong way, but I did complete the story. So now I can see why the stamina bar was important. But this game is like a mix of action game, but with the DNA of From Software. So if you haven't played it, you should definitely check this out. Unfortunately, this game doesn't go as in sale as much as the other games, just like From Software games does. They You maximum get a discount of like 50% if you buy it from an online store. So if you can buy a CD or a used CD for less, you can definitely buy it. Oh, there's the two versions of this game. One is the regular version, and then is the Game of the Year version. I bought the regular version, and when it won the Game of the Year, it got automatically upgraded to it. So I'm pretty sure it'll be the same case for everyone. They made a free upgrade. It doesn't add too many features, but you know what? It's a free upgrade, so I can't complain. So anyway, that's it. I hope you guys have a wonderful time.